Hello and welcome to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events and always never say never to Arkansas weather. I hope you're enjoying and you like the new blog and all the new things that I've added to it. This is more of a discussion that I want to have with you. And I'm going to show you a couple of things as we in meteorological summer, August 31st, the last day of meteorological summer, and what to expect according to the averages for September. But before I get into that, I just wanted to talk to you about something, a couple of points here. I just got back from a conference in St. Louis, the National Weather Association, of which I'm a member of that, and had their seal of approval, and from the American Meteorological Society, I have their certified broadcast meteorologist seal from them. So I like to go to these conferences, and I really enjoyed this one as well up in St. Louis. It's held annually. So just a couple of points that I just want to highlight and just for you to think about and to discuss, things that got me thinking, as well as these conferences are designed to do. There's a meteorologist up in Kansas City, great guy, and he had a presentation about severe thunderstorm warnings, about how many there are now, and maybe we should be raising the threshold and considering something to that effect for a severe thunderstorm warning, because sometimes these don't verify. Maybe the public, maybe you're, as viewers, you are getting too accustomed to these severe thunderstorm warnings, and they're not taken with the sense of urgency that they need to be taken. So maybe we just warn for golf ball size hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds or something else. It's just something. He had a whole presentation about it, and it was just something that got me thinking about. Gosh, we do have a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings, and this is meant no criticism whatsoever to those who issue them at the National Weather Service. Not at all. It's just you're battling, people, you want people to know that there's a warning in effect and to take the appropriate actions, and we can't control that. Obviously, we tell you and give you recommendations, and what you do is up to you. But we continue to see, and I look at Arkansas, and I continue to see people getting hurt by severe thunderstorm winds, trees falling, and it doesn't have to be severe, too. We talk about lightning as well. So that's some thought as well. And there was something else here, and I've got a graphic loaded that I want to share with you. This is an image. Yeah. This was done, presentation here, and I've been showing you one slide. This is from where I was sitting, so it's not that great resolution. But you may remember last February 24th, there was a Clarksville, Tennessee, from a QLCS. That's just basically a line of storms that has rotation embedded in it. They happen quite commonly. There was an EF2 tornado, 80 homes, more than that, damaged and destroyed. The reason why this matters, they had more than 30 minutes warning. And you know how we always show you the radar couplet where you have the reds and the greens come together? They were able in Nashville, the weather office there was able to issue a tornado warning before there was ever rotation on the radar, before there was ever a sighting. And it was based on an analysis of all the conditions in the atmosphere that were going on ahead of this line of thunderstorms. And they could see that the conditions were favorable in this particular area, that once this line entered that area, that the conditions would increase for a tornado. This is very good news, not the tornado, obviously, but the more warning we're able to give. So there's more than 30 minutes advance notice that there was something developing, and of course there was more than 80 homes destroyed. All right, so those were a couple things that I got out of the conference I want to share with you. Now let's talk about the weather, and I want to show you, this is a time lapse, by the way, today, this morning, of the fog. This is from our camera on the tower in Chenal Mountain out in West Little Rock, but we had some fog and low clouds, and it was beautiful as it moved across our camera. Let me get rid of the lower third here. And I'll play this one more time. But just beautiful time-lapse video there of that fog crossing and moving past our camera there in West Little Rock. And we're going to see more of a typical summertime pattern. All right, summer 2018. Here's a preliminary review. Again, this is preliminary, as this is the last day of meteorological summer. And this summer was not bad at all. 2 days of 100-degree temperatures or higher, and that occurred on July 14th and 15th, 100 to 101 degrees, respectively. The summer average temperature, when you look at the summer averages, and I believe June was 1.7 degrees above average, July was even at 0, and then 2 point something, I lost my notes, 2 point something below average for August. So when you average those 3 months, it's just a little bit under below average by 0.4 of a degree. Total rainfall, almost 13 inches. So, and that a lot of that fell in August. 62 days of 90 degrees or higher. All in all, this was not a bad summer whatsoever. It got hot at times, and it's still going to be quite warm and humid. And as we've been telling you for the past few weeks, the worst has been behind us, as we saw that in July. The worst, and the August cooled down. All right, September, according to the averages, we start off September 1st, 93 and 70. September 30th, 80 to 59 as we descend into fall. Average rainfall, 3.18 inches, and we are going to lose an hour and 2 minutes of daylight. And with all the rain we've had lately, we keep getting some rain, and we need the cooler temperatures, especially at night. I think there's the potential, at least, for some pretty good fall colors coming up later in October and into November. So I told you this was going to be sort of a lengthy blog post, but I want to share with you where I was last weekend at the National Weather Association Conference in St. Louis. There's a lot more, obviously, that I saw and heard, but those are just 2 items that I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much for coming to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events.